Hello, dears. It's a pleasure to be here again with all of you. For this week, we are going to have a great topic. We are going to implement directly into SAP Fiori, but we need to exercise directly into HANA. The reason of that is because we are going to simulate how is Fiori working, directly inserting or selecting different data. So we are going to simulate some rows directly in our two tables. If you remember that, we have these two tables. The first table is called a HANA table. We have the ID, the name, and the address. With all of these kind of fields, we are going to simulate that we are working with or we are going to store the name of each employee for each company. So after that, we are going to have here the second table that was called a job role, and here we have the following fields. If you remember, in the last video we implemented this field for our foreign key. So we know that each table contains the primary key, and this second table is going to be used in order to store the company where the employee is working on, and the role that they have or that they have achieved in some time. The time is here. I'm going to show you another function in order to automatically generate the data, the timestamp. And here we are going to save or correlate our ID of the employee. Another objective that we have here is that we are going to see the way to confirm that the foreign key is working. So we are going to simulate some scenarios that we are going to provoke an error into the table. So I hope you can enjoy it. Okay, we need to confirm the data that we have here. In this video I have deleted all the data, and I have inserted one row. Okay, a clean row. You can see that we have these three fields. So we are going to insert more. And the second table where we are going to work is the job role, where we are going to save the roles of the employee. Okay. Here we have the ABC company. Maybe he's a manager. This is the date where we are going to find that employee working in this company with this role. And how we know that the employee is working in this company? Well, that is solved with this field, the foreign key. This is the ID that we have for the employee one. Okay, we can confirm again. Okay, this is ID. Okay, great. Now we are going to insert more rows. If you remember, we have implemented this sentence. we have now George, USA. Maybe he's in USA. And if you can see, we are going to work with the ID2. Let's see what happens if we would like to insert a George with the ID number 1 into a field that is called like a primary key. Okay, perfect. We can see the following error, message error, the unique constraint violated. Okay, what happened? Let's see what happened now if we modify the ID. Perfect. We can see the ID number 2 here, and this was successfully executed. What is the reason of this error and this sentence that was accepted into the HANA database? The reason is that, if you remember, into the field 1 we have this constraint. The constraint is that we have the primary key, and the primary key is going to help us to avoid the duplicated data. Now let's confirm what we have into the table. Okay, great. We have our second row. So let's insert another row into maybe Lucero is into China. Let's insert the third row. Perfect, we have inserted that. Now we can confirm. Great. And now we have your first table that is going to store all the employees, all the people directly into this table. Great. Now let's work with the second table. We can remember that we have these fields, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 fields. Okay, let's insert into the table the following values. If we remember, we have one row inserted. Okay, so we need to use the ID2, maybe for the same company. Maybe he's a CIO. And then you are going to learn this function. You can insert data into the data table, data columns with different or with many formats. In order to avoid that, you can manage the data with a server. So you need to be aware that this function is going to work with the data that is set into the server. If that is not correct, you are going to insert incorrect data. Okay, be careful with that. But this is a automatic function that is going to work for you. Then if you remember, we have the second employee that is called George. Okay, we are going to set the foreign key here. Okay, let's work with that. Okay, what happened here? Okay, we need to use the letter S. Okay, great. Now let's confirm what happened with this table. Perfect. Now you have the second table that is going to manage all the rows for each one of your employees. Okay. The employee number 2, that is called George, is the CIO of the company ABC. Remember that this is the date and the time that in your server, so be careful with that. You need to manage directly in your server in order to work correctly with that. What happened now? If we insert the third one, the CO for Lucero, okay, and the primary key is here, the foreign key is here, okay. Let's insert. Perfect, was successfully inserted. Let's confirm what happened with that. Great. Now we have the 2 rows into the table. Remember that you can change the name of the company, you can modify the date. Let's simulate now the employee 1. We have here the primary key, now is going to be the 4. The employee that we need to change the role is the number 1. Now maybe he is the project manager. Let's play with the same error that we provoke. Remember that this is a primary key, so we need to duplicate the row, and we are going to see what is the message error that we are going to have. Unique constraint violated. Okay, that is the great way in order to avoid duplicate rows. That is not the exactly way to avoid all the effects of the duplicated rows, but this is one manner to solve that. Okay, now let's work with that. Perfect, let's confirm. And now we can see here that we have modified the job role of the role of the first employees. Okay, the first employee now is the project manager. Okay, you can see here the foreign key, and you can see the primary key. Well, with this we have finished. For the next video we are going to see how to implement the Fiori app in few minutes. So I'm not going to delete these rows, because these rows are going to be used directly into our Fiori app. So with that you can confirm that this solution is working correctly. Okay, and for that we have finished. Thank you. If you have doubts, feel free to ask me. Remember that I can help you to create more videos for all the doubts maybe you will have. Thank you. I am Asael, and goodbye.